Jennifer, Mary Ellen, and Kat. Um, but hopefully you've seen the description, you've been able to gather some of your materials. If you don't got it, you don't got it. You don't need it. So we will be practicing yin. We'll keep this to about 45 minutes this morning. This is to serve as our meditation for a gentle start of our day. And it's really about cultivating the quality of observing of our breath, of the body sensations, and of the thoughts in the mind. We're not trying to change any of those. We're simply trying to hold space for them. We're trying to bear witness to what it is that we can observe that's really going on for us. So I really hope that this practice serves you, and we'll see what comes of it. If there's anything that, of course, causes you any extreme discomfort, any difficulty in your breathing, anything that conflicts with any medical concerns that you know that you have, I really encourage you to listen to yourself here. So this practice is about cultivating that awareness and that mindfulness and steadiness on ourselves. And so this time of being kind of in a little bit more of a cocoon, a little bit more isolated, a little bit more connected to self, we're really in an opportunity to cultivate that even more. So we're going to start in a reclined butterfly pose. And so as you do this, you can come onto your back. You'll see that I'll set up with my pillows and props here to elevate my back a little bit. Certainly, I want you to think about what will work best for you here. We're bringing the soles of the feet together. We're letting the knees come wide. And if you need to grab some other pillows or yoga blocks to put under your knees, that might be also an option for you. So coming onto the back, maybe you have a long cushion or pillow that you can come to the base of your spine and allow yourself to settle back. You can prop up a bit more. You can even put yoga blocks underneath of this. And so in yin, we take some time to come into the pose to the degree that feels right for us. And then settle into it. Make any tweaks or adjustments that you need to. Kind of explore and experiment and try on what might be working, not working. We're not looking for perfection here. We're looking for progress so that we can settle in and observe ourselves here. We're coming into a pose that's symmetrical. So I want you to imagine that line, that center line of symmetry down the body. And then we're mirroring on either side. So what you're doing with one side of your body, you want to mirror on the other side. So same goes for obviously what you're doing with your hands. The props, you want to make sure that they're at the same level on one side of the body as the other. And today you're going to see me use my watch. I discovered that there's an amazing little setting here on my watch that will give me a little vibration when we're at our time. So we're going to settle here for 3 minutes beginning now. And in this opening, we're opening here in butterfly pose. We're opening to this time to connect with self, to come home to this body, to this breath, to this mind. So as you're here, you can imagine something that is opening. What image comes to mind when you hear the word open? Perhaps it's a butterfly opening its wings. Perhaps it's a doorway opening. Perhaps it's a flower or a leaf coming out of its bud, opening. Take some time to connect with an image of something that's opening. As you draw this image to mind, notice if there's memories associated with it. That takes you down a little bit of a rabbit hole of thinking and reflecting. Nothing wrong with that. Simply notice and observe where the mind starts to go. Notice now if you can draw your awareness to your body opening to receive the breath. So take a few more rounds of breath, drawing your awareness and your observations to the breath. Noticing the quality of your breath as it enters and exits the body. Great job. So from here, we're going to start to slowly wiggle our fingers and our toes. Perhaps for you, you want to close those butterfly wings and just allow yourself to sit with knees up towards the sky for a few more breaths. Perhaps you want to take those arms overhead. Give yourself a little bit of a stretch here. Feel the opening of the chest. Wherever you are to transition, take 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to roll over to one side. You can use your arm as a pillow. Coming off of the cushions if you were on them. And transitioning here, taking time to find another breath. Feeling how the breath changes and shifts as the body does. And see if you can steady your mind back to the breath. As we transition, I invite you to still continue to observe the breath. So we'll press up and come to deer pose. And so we'll still continue to work with those cushions. Again, if you're not using any cushions or pillows today, that may serve you just fine. So what we'll do is we'll start on our left hip and we'll begin to connect up the hip to whatever props, bolsters, pillows, cushions that we're using. I invite you to create a 90-degree angle from your hip to your knee to your ankle here. And then I like to snuggle my back knee right in towards the sole of my foot, and certainly kind of play with that and get some time to observe what works for you. So as we're coming into this is really going to create a chance for us to observe. And so this setup might need to look very different for you. So take some time, as we said, as we come into these yin poses to explore the depth of the pose. So we're allowing our hip to come onto the cushions, or if you can, find that navel center and allow that to kind of hug down towards the earth. This may be a bit of extreme of a twist for you, so by all means, you can just come to your side and hang out on your side over your cushions here. If it's available to you and you're coming into the twist, navel down towards the earth, you can set up to have your forehead directly down towards the earth. Or for you, an added option may be to turn and look opposite of your knees. All right, so I understand that this is a lot of setup for us. So take some time to explore the option that works for you. Come into the appropriate depth. And then when we come into the yin pose, our goal is to find some stillness where we are. We commit to being here now. And we'll stay for some time. I have the timer set for 3 minutes. Our goal is to come to the appropriate depth, to find stillness, to find time, to observe, to honor ourselves. So if you need to shift out, nothing wrong. As you come here, I invite you to observe the shape of your body, any physical sensations. Notice where in your body there's a sense of balance, of ease. Where in the body is there a sense of stillness? Can you notice any sensations or any places where the body feels in comfort? Comfort by the earth, comfort by your props, by your presence. Can you observe in the body where you feel any constriction, any pressure? Start to notice your fingers. Bring your hands under your shoulders, press in to the earth and come up. And then take some time here to bring yourself to a seat, both knees bent, much like we did on our backs. You can close your eyes and just allow yourself to notice and observe the effects. That was deer pose on one side. Notice how that posture felt for you in your body. Perhaps you want to write down some notes of reflection of where you felt that sensation or how it serves you, or maybe what next time you would like to shift or change about that pose. We have a chance to try it again on the other side, since we are working to find some symmetry and balance in the body. So I'm going to switch my props so that I'm still facing you this way, but you certainly do not have to. All right. So as we come in, again, remember that we're working on symmetry. Many of you that have taken class with me have heard me share the story of a fifth grader, a third grader in Cleveland, Ohio, who in talking about symmetry, we talked about how symmetry helps us to find balance. And there's the word try at the end of it. And he said, Miss Lisa, there's actually 3 words in the word symmetry. See, me, try. And so we are trying to find this balance of this way of life, balance our mind, our body, our breath, balance our connection with self and others and the planet. And we certainly know that that's a challenge and it may not always be possible. And so as you come into the second side, you may notice that your body is certainly not quite balanced. And so we're just going to work with that and observe. So we will find this pose again for 3 minutes. Deer pose, coming into the appropriate depth for you. Hopefully you're already settled in and finding where you want to be, if it's that just laying completely on your side, or perhaps it's the navel grounded towards the earth, forehead down, or gaze away from the knees to get a little bit more in the neck. All right, here we go. 3 minutes starting now. As you come into this posture, notice if there is a tweak that you need to make. Observing what will help you open to this moment. Open to receive what this posture can do for you. We started today with that vision of opening. We've worked to observe the body. We've worked to find some appropriate pressure through these postures. I invite you to continue to notice and observe what is able to open here. Sensations that you may be noticing. Places of stillness. Of comfort. So as we observe the body, we're using the mind to focus our attention to the body. I invite you to observe if the mind is able to do that, or if it's back to our image of something opening. Great job. So make some movements with your fingers now, maybe even a little wiggle of your toes. Hands shift to underneath the shoulders. Press in and come back to a seat. Feet planted. Feet can also be crossed in easy seat. And as we transition out, I invite you to come to a transition point of stillness to observe. Observe any difference in sensations that you had on the first side of deer pose to the second side. Notice what it was like to be observing the body, the mind. If there's anything that you would like to capture in your journal, I invite you to do that now. And then we'll set up for a supported child's pose. So continue to journal if that's what you need to do. We're going to come to child's pose with our knees wide. The toes can come to touch, or you could be sitting back in between them. We're going to come forward, but you may want to feel that you have a cushion. Actually, I think I like the sensation of a blanket behind my knees, and give a little roll out of the calves. The cushions are going to come in between our knees, and we're going to allow ourselves some time again to kind of explore as we come forward, draping over the cushions so that we start to really get into this back body, opening here, breathing. So finding some props that will support us in this. We're just going to stay here for 1 minute. This is a transition spot for us. So we're coming back to something that is symmetrical. I invite you to notice if the legs and the arms can kind of find a place that is similar on one side of the body as the other. And in this place, I'm going to invite you to observe your breath. See if you can stay focused on feeling the back body opening as you inhale, and settling and softening into your props on the exhale. So as we turn in and observe this body, we use the mind to guide that focused attention. We come into observing the breath. Perhaps now we'll transition to allowing ourselves a little bit of focused breath work. So we have 1 more minute that we're going to add on here. Come out if you need to. But I'm going to invite you to find an inhale, lengthening the spine. And as you exhale, feel the body settle. And just feel that for a few breaths. Inhaling, feeling the spine come alive and lengthen. Exhaling, feeling that connection downwards. The inhale is called prana vayu. It's an upward energy. It's a lifting up. We'll feel the back body lifting on that inhale, that use of that prana vayu. Great job. That was 1 minute there. I'm going to add on 1 more minute to observe that release. Feel it still in the back body, the spine settling as you exhale. Observe that falling, that grounding sensation, that rooting sensation with the exhale. This is apana vayu. That exhalation is that downward energy rooting into the ground. Imagining that you're melting, just like the snow is melting underneath the heat of the sun. Taking one more breath here, really connecting with that apana vayu, the exhalation, that downward energy. And then begin to softly come up to a seat. You can move your props to the side and finding a seat on one of those cushions or a blanket and coming to stillness. As we transition here, you may want to close the eyes. Notice how that felt. My teacher always refers to the back body as being the body of faith. And so as we breathe in and bring some observations to that back body, to our body of faith, notice what that felt like. What that inhalation, that uprising energy of the prana vayu, how that felt. And the energy and the settledness of the apana vayu, the exhalation. If you'd like to take some time to reflect there in your journal, I invite you to do that. And then ensure that you're really finding a spot and a way to sit that's comfortable. If you've got a blanket, I'm going to invite you to just kind of reconnect with it, refold it so that it's nice and smooth. Again, we don't want the body to start to notice little nuances of where it's off balance. We want to really be able to come into a place of feeling that balance. It's there, friends. See me try. I'm going to then invite you to reach for your towel or your yoga strap. As you come into this cross-legged, your seat may look like mine, it may not. All right, so I really want you to honor that. If there is more cushions that you want to use, because our goal is to get the knees down, the hips higher. So if it looks more like this for you, see if propping yourself up onto the edge of that higher cushion will help tilt the pelvic bowl forward, let the knees to come a little lower. And man, I don't normally sit up this high, and I have to say, it feels really nice. So even if you don't need it, if you don't have those tight hips, man, this feels super yummy. So let yourself settle here. We're going to take some time here now to come into more of this upright posture. So this is the prana vayu, this upwards, right? So we've shifted the body now. And I want you to just notice and observe what might be feeling different as we come from this place of stilling onto the earth towards coming up to a seat. Come back to noticing the center line of symmetry down the body. And we're going to continue here in this time to be observing the breath. And so I'm going to invite you into a practice that I have been working with. This may come really natural and comfortable and at ease for you. It may not. So it's just an introduction to this today, and feel free to message me if you have any questions or you want to work on it a little more together. So I'll start the timer for 1 minute, but let me explain. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working down the center channel of the body. So on the inhalation, I want you to imagine the in breath coming in from the top of your head down into your heart space. And I want you to feel your heart really lift with that prana. And then as you exhale, we're going to take our focus from the heart down to the root chakra on the exhale. So inhale from the crown of the head down to the heart. And then exhale from the heart down the body to the root chakra. Again, one more time, I'll explain that. So inhale through the image of through the top of your head to your heart. And then as you exhale from heart to the root chakra. So we will do this for 1 minute together. Feel the inhale, connecting to the heart, lifting. Exhale from heart down to the root. Again, inhale, feel from the top of the head to the heart. Exhale from heart to root. As you inhale, feel that lift of your heart. And as you exhale, focus on the belly, hugging towards the spine, emptying the breath out as you draw your awareness down to your root. Inhale, feel the expansion of the heart. Exhale, feel the belly hug in, connecting downwards to your root. Inhale. Exhale. Awesome job. So that was 1 minute focusing there on the center line of the body. So if you are sitting cross-legged and in an asymmetrical pose, I'm going to invite you to switch that cross so that you can come into this on the other side. It may feel awkward because this is not the way that you typically sit, so allow yourself to be in that place. Taking our towel, find an inhale and lengthen. See if you can roll the shoulders up a little bit higher and then exhale, draw them down. We'll find that again. So inhale, draw the shoulders up. Exhale, draw the shoulders down. Find the chin slightly tucked in. Allow the ears to feel that they can come over the shoulders. And if I turn to the side, you'll see that my hands aren't straight up all the way. They're kind of angled a little bit more forward. Keep a soft grip to your towel. Take an inhale here, feel that upwards of the chest, and exhale over to your left. Inhale back up to center. Exhale to your right. And find that 2 more times. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Soft grip on the towel. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Make space and openness between the teeth. Inhale, draw it up. 1 more time each side. As you inhale and lift back up to center, exhale, lower those shoulders, release your towel, and just start to observe how that movement felt. If there was some gripping, maybe you need to shake that out a little bit. So we're going to find another shoulder chest opener here. And so we'll all have our differences, and we're going to just offer you, I want to offer you a few options, and then you can try them out and see what works. So I experience a lot of neck issues, still working with trying to find the right pillow and whatnot. So this posture is something that has really helped me tremendously. Of course, making sure that we're comfortable how we're sitting. Go ahead and take one hand behind back. We can start with either one. I'm going to bring around all the way to my low back here. We're going to take the other hand and connect it with your elbow. See how that feels. Or bring your hands to clasp. So you have 2 options here. So allowing, like as if you're holding a tray, your palm to be up, or come together with your hands right about at your hip. See if you can keep your shoulders level. And I want you to continue to imagine that breath that we worked with. Inhale from the top of the head down to the heart. So feel the lift of the heart on the inhale. Exhale, belly towards the spine, drawing downwards so that we can draw our shoulders down. We can make space and open between the teeth. So finding the appropriate pose for you. We will stay here for 1 minute. Feel the length of the spine. Feel that pranavayu drawing you upwards, lifting you to Father Sky. And the exhale helping you to soften and settle and ground down to Mother Earth. Feeling yourself as that channel, that space opening to Father Sky on the inhale, Mother Earth on the exhale. Great job. Bring your hands back to your knees. Take time here to just settle and observe. Maybe perhaps you need to find some time to journal here, or maybe some movement, rolling the shoulders forward, chin towards the chest. Inhale, opening up. Maybe for you, taking those legs out long and allowing that fold forward gently. And then as you come back up, fingertips behind you, lift the heart. We're going to come into this on the second side, remembering that our experience and our sensations can be very different, but what stays the same is that anchoring to the breath. So finding what would work for you in the seated posture. Again, I want to invite you to think about if going into the same cross-legged would work, or if you do need a variation, you can always come back to that butterfly, maybe with some props underneath. So let's take some time to settle here, get ourselves prepared to notice which version would you like. Now, I know for me, and I know many of my students, I don't know which ones of you are on, but I know that many of us talk about how we have one shoulder that is just super cranky. And so really be kind to yourself here. Notice that this symmetry, this balance that we're aiming for, it might be a little off balance today. That's okay. We're working to make those observations, opening to what it is that we notice. I'll start our timer now. Continue to come back to where your anchor points are, connecting you upwards, connecting you down to the earth. We've worked with some different images today. If one of those served you, continue to come back to that as your anchor point. Again, drawing your awareness to what you can observe in the body, the mind, and the breath. You can release hands to your knees. Take some moment to be still here. Coming back to neutral. And then tapping in and notice what the body is asking for here. Maybe a little bit of movement. Another option that's nice is to bring the feet to the earth, knees to the sky, hands behind you, fingertips towards your toes, and then finding a windshield wiper from side to side. So we started out with a little bit of our twist this morning, our deer pose. So take some time here in this twist to maybe pause on one side. And then coming to the other side. And then coming back to neutral, we're going to set up for our final posture together. And you have obviously many options. And if after the session, if you felt that you needed some more options, please reach out to myself or any member of the Namaste Teaching Tribe, and we'll be happy to help you. So you can certainly come back to the posture that we started with. You can come back to that reclined butterfly. You could come to legs up the wall, but as you can see, I have sliding glass windows there, so I'm not going to use that. But one thing that I love to do when I'm in my living room is to come to the couch. So I'm going to turn a little bit here. And I've already kind of tested this out and know that for me and my angle, I need that blanket there. And scooting up to the edge of the couch, or if you were doing this on a wall, you can come to that. And then turn yourself around so that your knees kind of hug right there on the edge. Another option could be to lift up and place a low cushion underneath the back. Totally optional for you here. You can have these knees coming draped over the couch or a chair or ottoman, or maybe you want to feel that sensation of legs up the side of the couch, just using that for a little bit of support there. So take some time to come into this final posture that would support you in finding some stillness. If you need to cover up with a blanket, oftentimes I like to put another pillow on the tops of my calves or my shins there to give a little bit more weightedness. And as you come into this, can you find symmetry? Can you find some likeness of one side of the body to the other? The timer has begun for 3 minutes. To use this time to let go, to release, to settle, to come home to yourself. As we settle here under Father Sky and held by Mother Earth, notice that you are that center line of symmetry between them. Allow yourself to observe any sense of openness and spaciousness and groundedness. I invite you to observe the quality of your breath, the sensations of the body, the thoughts moving in and out the mind. Notice if you'd like to stay here a bit longer. If that feels right, please do so. If you're feeling ready to transition, wherever you are, come to transition spot, rolling to one side. As we're in this place of transition, taking some time to send some gratitude to yourself for practicing, for opening, for observing, for being patient with yourself. And when you feel that it's right, come to a seat. Feel that alignment again, the Father Sky and Mother Earth. Feeling our center channel, our center line and symmetry in between sky and the earth. And draw your hands to your center, to this gateway chakra between the head space and the lower limbs, more of the body. The heart is that gateway that connects us to sky and to earth, to ourselves, to each other. May this practice to continue to allow us to observe our interactions with ourselves, with one another, and with this planet. May we be open to receive the wisdom from within us, from that which is around us. From my heart to yours, with deep love and gratitude. Thank you so much for spending this time together. Namaste. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments, or take some time to journal about your experience, and love to hear from you as you prepare for the weekend ahead. As you find that transition, how do you want to show up for it? We're going to be entering Earth Week. We have Earth Day next Wednesday and Arbor Day on Friday. Those to me are my most celebrated holidays. And so I hope this practice today helps you to prepare to observe your connection to this planet and how you might want to move forward into the rest of this month. So happy Earth Month, happy almost Earth Day and Arbor Day to you all. Thank you so much for showing the love there, Kat. I see you. So much love.